So in this video, I've been tasked with talking about the 50 years. It's the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and I am definitely not an aficionado and authority at all on hip hop. I love the genre. I've been listening to hip hop and rap since I was young, um, and I've listened to all different eras, all different kinds of artists and everything. But I won't say that I'm an authority by any means, or you know every single rapper or hip hop artist out there. Um, However, this I've been assigned this, so I'll talk a little bit about my knowledge and give you guys what I think about the 50th year of hip hop and give you a little bit of history that I know about it. And I'll probably also do my top 5 hip hop artists for me personally. I think it'd be really cool if throughout this year you see a lot of content creators talking about who their favorite artists are, talk about their cultural significance, their um, musical influence, and everything like that. So, August 11th of this year will mark the 50th year of hip hop originally starting. It started in 1973 in Brooklyn, New York, with a guy named Clive. He threw a house party with his sister, and he started scratching 2 records together, and that is what is considered the dawn of the hip hop era. And throughout that time period, there's been, as you well know, thousands upon thousands of artists everywhere from like the top echelon of music all the way down to like house shows and local acts, which I think is really cool. It's really cool when a genre like rap or metal or rock or anything like that has an underground scene, like a house show scene. I think that's so cool. And hip hop is more alive than ever now. I mean, it's all throughout pop culture. Um, I mean, you can't really walk down the street without hearing someone play hip hop in their cars. So, and I'm the same. I'm listening to hip hop rap all the time when I'm going to the gym or so, just chilling. The genre itself has so many different little sub-genres within it. It feels like, even if they're not named, you can tell like the difference between them. And I'm just excited to see what artists nowadays do for the 50th anniversary, see what kind of music comes out this year, see the celebrations. I know Ice-T posted something about, trying to make this year special for hip-hop, so really cool to see like big music festivals doing tributes to different things, and maybe old artists re-releasing some music, maybe some remastered music. This year could be incredible for the genre and really push it forward, which I think would be really cool. So I guess I'll start talking about like my top 5 favorite artists of all time. Now, I will say this list isn't my favorite artist that I listen to the most. It's going to be the artist that I think had the most cultural influence to the genre, musical influence, and did the most in their career, even if it was a short career, because 2 of these people have, relatively shorter careers. So, first off, I think I'd be, it couldn't be a list without having, these are in no particular order, but couldn't really have a list without having Tupac on it. I think Tupac had such a massive influence on hip-hop, not just musically, but for sure culturally. I mean, you go even into, say, a Target here in Northeast Ohio, and you can see a Tupac shirt, and that's, been around my entire life. So you can't think of hip-hop and not think of Tupac. He's an icon. And you can hear his musical influence in all, like throughout, since he started his career, you can hear that musical influence throughout all of hip hop and rap. So I think I'd be remiss if I didn't have him on the list. Another artist I think that you absolutely have to have on there is Biggie. Another guy who had a huge musical influence and cultural influence. You got your West Coast of Tupac, your East Coast of Biggie. That era of hip hop was huge. It really is what I think laid the groundwork for the genre to continue today and probably for forever, honestly. Like those two guys during that time period and the people around them in those circles really, really pushed the genre forward and made it into what I believe today is one of the top genres in music, period. Um, Another guy that I would put on the list, and this might be a little bit biased, but I think he's one of the top 5 artists, rap artists, hip hop artists ever, would be Nas. I think that he had a huge influence, and he has an incredible catalog. Musically, I think he influenced hip hop more than maybe, I don't know, a lot. I don't know if I could say more than anybody, but he has a huge musical influence that I think carries even to today. And then another one for me would be Lil Wayne, which is a little bit more of a recent artist. I mean, he's been making music for over 25 years now. So like half of the entire hip hop legacy. So I think he absolutely has to be on the list. He's done everything. He's worked with everyone. He's an icon, and I mean he does everything. He acts. He is on sports shows. He is such a huge iconic figure, and his music. I mean, you can't ask a rapper, who their top 5 is, and without having Lil Wayne in there. It seems like he inspired the entire genre over and over and over again, and I think he, to me, is absolutely a top 5 hip hop artist ever, and for me, maybe even my favorite. And then, so I did the first 3, and I feel like those guys are goats. I think Lil Wayne's also a goat. In my top 5, I'm also going to add one of my personal favorites. As the 5th member, I think that J. Cole, he's a little bit more of a recent one, especially in my generation. He has had a huge influence. I think that J. Cole, musically, lyrically, is one of the greatest rappers I've ever heard. He's got such an amazing way with his poetry and his lines and everything. I think that he is incredible, and his beats are ridiculous. And I mean, that's leaving out a ton of incredible people for me personally. Like, Kendrick is one of my favorite artists ever. Kanye, Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg. That's leaving out a lot of really influential people. I mean, the hip-hop genre in itself has massive icons that, I mean, like Drake nowadays. There's just endless amounts of people that influence that genre in great ways. That's why it's so beautiful. It's because it's so fluid. And it's always making new kinds of music. There's so many subgenres and so many people making incredible stuff. Like, for me, I love Joyner Lucas. He's a younger guy who I think is incredible with his delivery. I mean, there's just so many incredible artists, and I think that's why this year will be so exciting. There's so much that could come out and be talked about this year that I think it's going to be awesome for the genre to push it forward. I'm curious to see what music comes out this year, if anything is inspired by the 50th anniversary. If you see people going back and using like older mixes and older beats and stuff, I think there's just so much creatively cool stuff that could happen this year. And I'm also excited to listen to like some podcasts, see what some of the older heads have to say, see content creators creating like top 5 lists or talking about how, even learning some more of the history. I think this year would be really cool. Gives people an opportunity to speak about some of the older rappers that people maybe my generation haven't heard as much. People who were maybe not as big, in different scenes, like, wherever, Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland. We have some really cool rappers, anywhere. I mean, I think it would be really cool if some of those people had some light shined on them this year. So it's going to be an incredibly exciting year for hip-hop. it's the 50th anniversary. Super exciting. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what people do this year. So, if you too are interested, go ahead and comment, your top 5 in the comments, or tell me, one of your favorite hip hop shows you went to in, the past couple years. I'd love to see what you guys have to think about it. But that's kind of been my thoughts on the 50th anniversary of hip hop, all the cool things that could potentially happen. And I look forward to hearing what you guys say.